Hi everyone, what you're looking at right now is the entrance to a popular hiking trail known as Breakneck Ridge, and it's a trail that I have done many times and have a lot of experience with, and I'm making this video for you right now to help you understand how to hike it, what to expect from it, short versions of it, how to do the full version, and basically how to do this hike correctly, what to bring, and how to be prepared for it so you don't run into unpleasant surprises. This is a difficult hike, and if you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't prepare properly physically or with the right supplies, you could get into trouble. And so what I want to do is share with you what to expect, and the best way to do that is to show myself talking about it as well as a map of the area where Breakneck Ridge is located so you can see that. I will be giving you some clips, but the problem with showing clips from the actual hike is that it doesn't give enough context, or where's the slope too high or where it's flattened and stuff like that. Showing you this stuff on a map is going to give you a much more clearer picture, ironically enough. So the first thing that I just want to share with you is that you should download the map of Breakneck Ridge, and in order to do that you need to download the Hudson Highlands State Park map, which you can get for free. And this is also available at the trailhead of Breakneck Ridge, so you can do that as well. And I highly recommend you do that because I don't want you to get lost on these trails, because Breakneck Ridge is not the only trail that is in Hudson Highlands State Park. But anyway, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. What's going to happen is the official trail to Breakneck Ridge starts around here in this area. In fact, you can use your Google GPS to take you right to the parking lot. And from there, there's going to be a tunnel right around the trailhead area above which the trail, which is identified as BR, that is Breakneck Ridge. It starts right above it, and this is where you're going to begin the trail. Now you have a lot of different options available for you because this trail, the white trail, mixes in with a bunch of other trails that are available out there. Now the hardest one is to basically take the white trail and follow it all the way to its end point. So you're going to start over here, you're going to go above the tunnel, and you're going to go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. It's going to mix with the blue trail, which is why it's like a zebra stripe trail over here. But then it's going to divide with the blue trail and continue going further north, 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 and then it's going to finish around this area, which is actually a famous fire tower known as Beacon Fire Tower. And so from there, from the beginning of the parking area to reach all the way to Beacon Tower, it's about a 4 to 5 mile hike, and a lot of it is very uphill. It's very, very difficult. In fact, in my personal experiences, the hardest part of this hike is actually in the beginning stages of Breakneck Ridge. So if you start over here, this section of Breakneck Ridge, from the white area to where the white trail to where it mixes with the green trail, this is the hardest part. This is where you're going to have slopes that are about like this way. So it's pretty dangerous. It's tough. It's more tough, and it's more scrambling, rock scrambling involved, but it's very steep, and because of that it's very difficult to go through. So a lot of people, they go through this short thing and they're like, oh, I reached the top of Breakneck Ridge. No, you didn't. That's just the start of it. But after this area, it does get a little bit easier, and around the area, if you keep going up and up and up, you're going to cross a yellow trail intersection, after which it goes up a little bit higher, and then it does summit around this area. It does have some hill areas which you will go up and down on, including over here, but the last section over here where you have to get up to the fire tower, it is going to be pretty steep to do that. So understand that this is a very strenuous hike of 5 to 6 miles, and if you are not physically prepared to do it, if you don't have enough water, enough stuff on you like candy and snacks to refuel yourself, I wouldn't do it. If you're very physically prepared and you want to do it, yes, this is a great hike to try. Now, if you want to do parts of Breakneck Ridge, which is what a lot of people elect to do, there's a bunch of different loop options that are available where you don't have to start over here and go all the way to the top. I'm going to give you some of them right now. So the first one, the easiest one if you want to start, is you start off here. All of them are going to begin in this area. You're going to hike up to the green trail and then take the green trail down and back to the parking lot. That's your first loop. That's the easiest one. They added the green trail not too long ago. There are steps, but it's much easier to walk on this trail than it is on Breakneck Ridge. Just as well, if you want to skip this super difficult part, that is the hardest part of Breakneck Ridge, you can actually park here but take the green trail up here, which will have you skip this area and then continue upward to Breakneck Ridge and possibly all the way up to Beacon Fire Tower if that's what you choose. Now, an old and popular loop trail that people used to do, including myself, is they would start at the white trail, they would go all the way up over here, and then that would mix with the yellow trail. And then they would take the yellow trail down, that would mix with the green trail or the red trail, and then they would take the red trail all the way back over here and then loop back around to the parking lot. So this is a very popular hike. It's basically about 3 to 4 miles altogether. Not that much, but pretty difficult overall. The next loop option that you have available is you can, again, start off at the parking lot, go all the way up here, skip this area right here, keep going on the white trail, which is Breakneck Ridge, and then you take the red trail back to the yellow trail, and the yellow trail takes you back to the parking lot. So this is the next loop, and it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but this right here, this is about a 5 to 6 mile hike overall. Pretty strenuous, and the red trail is pretty challenging as well. Once you get to the yellow trail, it gets a lot more easier. Now the next loop option that you have is, again, you start in the parking lot over here, you hike up Breakneck Ridge, you get up to the blue intersection before the zebra stripes begin, where it basically mixes together, and you take the blue trail down, that connects with the red trail, and then you take the red trail back. Now if you want to really challenge yourself, this is a really difficult one, but I've done it before. You start at the parking lot, you take the white trail all the way to its end point, which is to the Beacon Fire Tower up here, and then you work your way back down, and then you take the yellow trail, which actually goes like this. It mixes with the blue trail, but then you take the yellow trail all the way back down to the parking lot. This is about a 9-mile hike overall, very strenuous, very difficult. I've actually done longer versions of it, but this one is very challenging, and it is something that you can try. Now just as well, you can mix whatever options I just gave you in this video with other things as well. You can maybe start from the red and work your way up over here and then work your way down the white trail. Most people ascend on the white trail versus taking it down all the way, but just understand that the white trail is very difficult, especially in these sections over here, and especially before the green trail. This is where it's going to be the steepest ascent. Okay, so when you go here, you should bring with yourself a lot of water, bring a backpack that has it. I do recommend trekking poles. I'm going to include links for the products that I recommend underneath this video if you're watching it there. But there are some important things like good hiking shoes. I'm going to also provide a link to that. Trekking poles really help, especially if you're doing this when you're really tired. A good backpack that can hold, something like energy drinks, water, and of course candy, because you don't just want to drink water, because if you're sweating and you're not resupplying yourself with more than just water, you can start getting cramps. Another thing I really recommend that you avoid doing is going on a hot summer day like I have the past 2 times that I went. It just makes it excruciatingly difficult, more difficult than it needs to be. Go when it's much cooler. Now one more cool thing that you can find, bunch of cool things actually, is that in addition to this white trail that I just shared with you, which is the Breakneck Ridge Trail, there are other areas around the Hudson Highlands State Park area which are really fun to check out. You have an area over here known as the Bull Hill Short Loop Trail, which is right next door to Breakneck Ridge. I have done this in addition to Breakneck Ridge in one day. You have Little Stony Point, which is a very beautiful scenic place to check out. You can go swimming here, check out the beautiful views of the Hudson Valley. You also have Bannerman's Castle, which you can take a ferry to. It does cost like 30 to 40 bucks, but these are other cool hiking trails that are available in the area, and I do recommend once again that you get yourself a map of this place so you know where to go and how to plan ahead. One last thing I want to mention that's really important is that as you go up this trail in Breakneck Ridge, there are certain sections where you're going to see arrows pointing which way to go. It's actually very well marked in terms of the trail markers. But in this first section of Breakneck Ridge, especially this area, you're going to see, aside from arrows, as you're going up the most steepest ascent of the hike, there's going to be areas where it'll say easy path this way, difficult path this way. So even though you're still going up the same trail, it circles back around and meets up and continues going up. You'll have different difficulty levels. Some of them you just won't be able to avoid. It's just going to be difficult, period. But at certain stages, you can elect to continue going up steep ascents, or you can go around that steep ascent, which is a bit more easier for people, and you'll see signs that say that. But either way, it's not like you're going to be off the white trail. It loops back around and continues the same way. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So I hope that this video was very helpful to you. Again, I highly recommend being properly prepared physically and bringing the right products. I will leave a link to the most recommended products that I have to bring with you on Breakneck Ridge. If you have any questions about this hike or the area in general, what's worth checking out, you're more than welcome to ask me. I will also include a link to my site where I talk about these types of places and what else you can see around the area. So with that said, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.